Right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachaha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of quick news being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Soaring debt pushing wealthy nations to fiscal death. Okay. So before I continue, right, let's type in what is a fiscal so we can better understand what that is. Okay. A fiscal. Okay. So fiscal is relating to government revenue, especially taxes. All right. And we know that a lot of these governments mainly get their revenue from taxes, which they take from the poor. Okay. This is why, especially here in America, you get a check, right? And your check is supposed to be over $1,000, right? But then you look at your check and you're like, what the fuck? My shit is 765. Why? Because you see, the more money you make on your checks, the more they take out. You know, it's all designed to keep you at the bottom. Okay. And if you want to make more money, you literally got to slave away at your life. Meaning what? You got to get two jobs, which means more than likely you won't even have an off day. You'll more than likely be working 16 hours a day, you see, just to make ends meet, which is total oppression, you know, and depression. But, you know, here for the noun version of it, it is a legal or treasury official in some countries. So it is a legal treasury that is official in some countries. So a fiscal debt is basically a government that is in debt. Okay. They're in debt from revenue, especially taxes. So now we know what a fiscal debt is, or how a debt can lead to a fiscal death. So a fiscal death is basically the death of a government's revenue, especially taxes. Okay. So that could be a problem for the government, right? Which could lead to what? It can lead to the government using the um the damn the IRS to go and collect monetary debt from people who haven't paid their debts in years. And we've been for a long time telling you Israelites to get the fuck out of college, man, because college is no more than a trap and a scam designed to put you in debt. Because you go to college, you got a 12,000, $20,000 an intuition fee you got to pay. Okay. And that's if you decide to drop out, or even if you graduate. There's a 12,000 or 20,000, or it could be even greater than that, depending on what college you go to, in tuition fee that you got to pay. So they're going to start using the IRS as debt collectors to basically collect, you know, debt. A lot of people who's been getting away with tax evasion. The IRS is going to be paying them a visit. You know, and there's going to be a lot of people who's going to end up getting locked up over failure to pay off their debts. Okay, but if you're of the elect, you know, because at the end of the day, the Lord controls the IRS, so you really have nothing to worry about. But of course, the scriptures also speak about being wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Don't go around creating a debt that you can't pay off, man. You know, because we are talking about the wicked in rulership. There's a way you move in this society. So it says global borrowing topped a record $300 trillion last year. Okay. So it says major economies that fail to address their mounting debt issues will die a fiscal death. And this can impact taxes and government revenue, right? It says the head of investment and wealth advisory, Laffer Tengler Investments, Arthur Laffer, has warned. It says in an interview with CNBC this week, he predicted a decade of debt, adding that the borrowing crisis has embraced both developed and emerging countries and is not going to end well. Right. And we got to remember that the country that's doing the most printing of countries that's doing the most printing of fiat currencies is America. Okay, and if you really want to be technical, America makes up most of the global debt. Okay, it says global debt has surged by 100 trillion from a decade ago and hit a record of 307.4 trillion last September, amid the biggest surge in global interest rates in 40 years, according to the economists. Okay, wealthy countries such as US, UK, France, and Japan account for more than 80% of that issue due to their uncontrolled accumulation of debt. China, India, and Brazil saw the most pronounced growth of borrowing among emerging markets. So if you notice, right, three countries which are ran, three countries which are ran by Edomites predominantly account for nearly 80%, while Japan has a part of that. But three countries which are controlled and ran by Edomites accumulate for nearly 80% of the global debt, right? Now, when we go to the book of Habakkuk, right? Let's go, you know, let's go to Habakkuk 2, verse 6. Habakkuk 2, verse 6. Let's see what it says here. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. You see that? And that's what the citizens of these countries are saying, you know, even some of the government officials of these countries, that's what they're saying, you know, you know, that's what they're saying. Like how long are these bastards in power going to continue to put themselves in debt and use our taxes as revenue to get themselves out. I mean, now, of course, they have something called quantitative easing where they ease the debt, but that's not going to stop the debt. And of course, we got the so-called elites, right? Who are the most richest people on the planet who basically refuse to bail these countries out of debt. Why? Because they are the wicked. Okay. And plus, it's not in Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai's plans. Okay. Because the Lord wants to collapse these countries. Okay. Bring these countries down from within. Remember, the Lord controls the left hand side, which the word left, when you look it up, literally means sinister. Okay. So the Lord controls the sinister side, which the so-called elites, which are Edomites, they are called what? That man of sin in the book of Second Thessalonians, the second chapter. Okay. So these are the wicked ruling the world in wickedness and with much oppression. Thick clay. Now that word there is ibatyat, which you're going to find out that word clay there is what? Weight of pledges, heavy debts, heavy debts. Okay, let's look up the word. Let's see, weight of pledges, but heavy debts is really what I really wanted to draw your attention to. Huh? I bought this pilot. So it's not going to let me define what a pledge is. So let's come over here and let's look this up. Okay, a pledge. Come on, man. I'll just type it in myself. Pledge definition. Okay, so a pledge is a solemn, which the word solemn means serious promise or undertaking. Okay, law, a thing that is given as security for the fulfillment of a contract or the payment of a debt. See, payment of a debt and is liable for forfeiture, which if you forfeit something means you give it up in the event of failure. We got bond here, which this is how they enslave people. Bonds, you know. Then we have over here, right? Gross revenue pledge. Okay, it's not revenue tied to fiscal, which is what the government deals with. Okay, so let me see. Let me see. A pledge is a bailment, right? Do they not use the banks to bail themselves out of debt, right? A pledge is a bailment that conveys a possessory title to property owned by a debtor to a creditor to secure repayment for some debt obligation and to the mutual benefit of both parties. The term is also used to denote property which constitutes the security. The pledge is a type of security interest. There you go. Okay, so yeah, the weight of pledges, heavy debts. And that's ultimately how this country is being ran. Okay. This country is being ran by debt and heavy debts at that. Come on, man. You're trillions of dollars in debt. Okay. And and just for the hell of it, what is the US debt clock? U.S. national debt clock, real time. So U.S. national debt is $34 trillion. There you have it. Now, this is debt per citizen, okay? Debt per citizen, which how many people are living here on the soils of America? What is America's population? 331.9 million. So you multiply that times 100,000 and yeah, and this is debt per taxpayer. Bro, man. $34 trillion in debt. This is the US debt clock. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom is on to the next one.